Your life will never rise higher than your mindset. You can work harder, chase opportunities, and even get a little lucky. But if your thinking stays small, your results will stay small. Everything you've experienced so far, your successes, your failures, your habits, and even your relationships, began first in your mind. Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade the way you think so you can upgrade the way you live. Think of it like updating old, outdated software. If your mind is running on beliefs and habits that no longer serve you, no amount of effort will get you where you want to go. But the moment you change your inner programming, your actions shift, and your entire life begins to move in a new direction. These mental upgrades aren't quick fixes or flashy tricks. They're timeless principles that have helped countless people break free from limitation, find clarity, and create lives they once only dreamed about. If you apply them with consistency and courage, you'll discover a version of yourself that's stronger, sharper, and ready to take on anything. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I walk you through each upgrade step by step and show you how to build a life that truly reflects your highest potential. Let's begin. Number 1, take full responsibility for everything. The very first and most powerful upgrade you can make to your mind is to take full responsibility for everything in your life. Now, I know that might sound heavy. You might be thinking, how can I be responsible for things I didn't choose or situations I didn't create? But here's the truth. While you can't control everything that happens to you, you are always responsible for how you respond and what you do next. When you blame others, when you point fingers at circumstances, you give away your power. You hand over the keys to your life and let someone else drive. That's why so many people stay stuck for years. They're waiting for someone else to fix things. But the day you decide to own your results, good or bad, is the day you take back control. Think about it like this. If someone wrongs you, yes, they are at fault for their actions. But if you let bitterness consume you, that's on you. If a job lays you off, yes, the company made the decision, but how you rise from that challenge is entirely in your hands. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It means you refuse to stay powerless. This mindset shift is life-changing. Instead of saying, I can't because of them, you begin to say, I will despite them. Instead of being a victim of your past, you become the architect of your future. When you fully accept that your current habits, decisions, and beliefs have brought you to where you are today, you unlock the ability to change them and create a different tomorrow. Here's something to remember. Responsibility brings freedom. It may feel uncomfortable at first because it forces you to confront your mistakes, your excuses, and your missed opportunities. But once you do, you'll realize that you don't have to wait for anyone else to give you permission to grow. You can start making new choices right now. Start small. If you're unhappy with your health, take ownership and begin with one simple habit today. If your finances are a mess, stop blaming the economy and start learning how to manage your money. If a relationship feels broken, own your part in it and work on becoming the best version of yourself. Taking full responsibility is not about perfection, it's about power. It's about saying, no matter what happens around me, I choose how I show up. I choose my attitude, and I choose my actions. This is the foundation for every other mental upgrade you'll learn. If you skip this step, nothing else will stick. But when you embrace it, you'll feel an incredible shift. A sense of strength and clarity that will carry you through every challenge. From this moment forward, refuse to give your power away. Stand tall, own your life, and step boldly into the driver's seat of your future. Number 2, stop feeding weak thoughts. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, nurture, and water will grow. If you plant seeds of strength, courage, and discipline, you'll grow a life filled with confidence and success. But if you keep feeding fear, doubt, and excuses, those weeds will take over and choke out everything good. The second mental upgrade is learning to stop feeding weak thoughts. Because what you think about most will eventually shape your actions, and your actions will shape your life. Weak thoughts often disguise themselves as harmless. They creep in quietly. I'm not good enough. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow. At first, these thoughts seem small, almost insignificant. But if you let them stay, they multiply. Before long, they become beliefs. And those beliefs control how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Here's the truth. You can't stop weak thoughts from showing up. They will always knock at the door of your mind. But you can stop entertaining them. You can choose not to invite them in, sit them down, and feed them. Every time you repeat a negative thought, you're giving it strength. Every time you dwell on what could go wrong, you're watering fear instead of faith. Instead, you must replace those thoughts with ones that build you up. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It means choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems, on progress instead of failure. When a weak thought says, "You can't do this," replace it with, "I'll figure out a way." When fear whispers, "You're not ready," respond with, "I'll learn as I go." Think of your mind like a radio. If a station plays nothing but noise and negativity, you wouldn't sit there listening all day. You'd change the station. The same goes for your thoughts. When you notice a pattern of weakness playing in your mind, turn the dial. Shift your focus to something that strengthens you. One powerful way to do this is through action. Action is the fastest way to silence weak thoughts. When you sit still and overthink, fear grows louder. But when you take even a small step forward, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts. Movement creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Also, be mindful of what you consume daily. The books you read, the conversations you have, the shows you watch, they all feed your mind. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, your thoughts will reflect that. But if you fill your mind with wisdom, inspiration, and truth, you'll have the strength to fight back against weakness. Weak thoughts will always try to return, but you don't have to give them power. You get to decide which ones grow and which ones die. Feed the thoughts that make you stronger and starve the ones that keep you small. When you master this upgrade, you'll notice a dramatic shift in your life. Challenges won't feel as overwhelming, and setbacks won't seem permanent. You'll carry a quiet inner strength that others will notice. A strength built not by luck, but by deliberately choosing which thoughts to nurture and which to release. Number 3. Build an unshakable daily routine. If you want to level up your life, you must stop leaving your days to chance. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. The third mental upgrade is about building an unshakable daily routine. A structure so strong that even when motivation fades, your habits carry you forward. Most people wake up each day and simply wing it. They roll out of bed, check their phone, and react to whatever comes their way. By the end of the day, they feel drained and wonder why nothing has changed. The problem isn't a lack of time. It's a lack of direction. Without a routine, your mind becomes scattered. Your focus weakens and your goals slip further away. Think of your routine as the foundation of a building. If the foundation is solid, the structure will stand no matter how strong the storm. But if it's weak or poorly built, everything eventually collapses. A powerful routine doesn't just organize your day. It strengthens your mindset. It gives you certainty, clarity, and momentum. Start by setting a strong morning ritual. How you begin your day often determines how the rest of it unfolds. Instead of starting in chaos, choose actions that prepare you mentally and physically. This could mean exercise, reading, journaling, or simply sitting in silence to set your intentions. Even 10 minutes of purposeful activity can shift your entire day. Next, structure your priorities. Don't create a long list of tasks you'll never finish. Instead, identify the top 2 or 3 actions that matter most to your progress and tackle them first. This trains your mind to focus on what truly moves you forward, rather than getting lost in busyness. A strong routine also includes boundaries. Decide when you'll work, when you'll rest, and when you'll disconnect. If you don't set limits, distractions will take over. Social media, TV, or endless scrolling will eat away at your time, leaving you with nothing to show for it. Protect your focus like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. Remember, discipline isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. That's when your routine matters most. Your habits should be so ingrained that they carry you through those moments without hesitation. Building this kind of structure takes time. Start small. Add one habit at a time until it becomes natural. Then build on it. Over weeks and months, those small choices will create massive results. When you create an unshakable daily routine, you eliminate decision fatigue, reduce stress, and free up mental energy for what truly matters. You stop drifting aimlessly and start moving with purpose. This upgrade transforms your days from chaotic to powerful. And when you stack enough powerful days together, you transform your entire life. Number 4, upgrade your inner circle. The people you spend the most time with, are shaping your future in ways you may not even realize. Whether you notice it or not, your inner circle influences how you think, what you believe is possible, and ultimately, how far you'll go in life. The fourth mental upgrade is about upgrading the company you keep, because no one rises to their highest potential while surrounded by people who keep them small. There's a powerful truth. You don't just pick up habits from those around you. You absorb their energy, their mindset, and their expectations. If you spend your days with complainers, you'll find yourself complaining. If you're surrounded by people who play it safe, you'll start shrinking your own dreams to fit in. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with driven, positive, and ambitious individuals, their example will naturally pull you higher. Take a moment to evaluate your circle. Are the people closest to you lifting you up or dragging you down? Do they celebrate your growth or do they feel threatened by it? Sometimes the hardest step in growth is realizing that certain friendships or relationships no longer align with the person you're becoming. It doesn't mean you hate those people or wish them harm. It simply means you've decided to protect your future by being intentional about who has access to your time and energy. Upgrading your inner circle doesn't always mean cutting everyone out overnight. It can start with spending less time with people who drain you and more time with those who inspire you. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities who challenge you to think bigger and take bolder actions. Even if you don't know these people personally, you can still surround yourself with their influence through books, podcasts, and teachings. Understand this growth can be uncomfortable. When you start leveling up, some people won't understand. They might tease you, criticize you, or try to pull you back to where you were. This isn't about them being bad people. It's often because your progress reminds them of their own lack of action. Don't let their fear become your ceiling. The key is to create a balanced environment where you both give and receive value. Find people who push you forward and be that kind of person for others. Relationships built on growth, respect, and shared purpose will make you unstoppable. Remember, you are not meant to walk this journey alone, but you also aren't meant to walk it with just anyone. Choose carefully. Your inner circle should reflect the future you're striving toward, not the past you've outgrown. When you upgrade your circle, your standards rise. You start thinking bigger, taking bolder steps, and believing in possibilities you never saw before. This mental upgrade is like fuel for your dreams. Surround yourself with people who fan your flames, and you'll discover just how high you can go. Number 5. Train your mind to see solutions. Most people spend their entire lives staring at problems. They think about what's wrong, talk about what's wrong, and worry endlessly about what might go wrong. And here's the trap. The more you focus on problems, the bigger they seem, and the more powerless you feel. The 5th mental upgrade is to train your mind to see solutions, not just problems. Every day, challenges will show up. That's life. You can't avoid them, but you can control how you face them. When most people encounter a problem, their first instinct is to complain or panic. They say, "Why me? This isn't fair. This always happens to me." That mindset keeps them stuck because it shuts down creativity and clear thinking. The moment you focus on blame, you stop looking for answers. Here's the shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What can I do about this?" Those 6 words will completely transform the way you approach obstacles. Problems are simply opportunities in disguise. They are puzzles waiting to be solved, lessons waiting to be learned, and doors to new growth. If you train your mind to see them that way, think about history's greatest inventors, leaders, and creators. They all faced huge problems, sometimes bigger than anything we can imagine. But what set them apart wasn't that they had perfect circumstances. It was their ability to look at what everyone else saw as a dead end and say, "There's a way forward here and I'm gonna find it." That's how breakthroughs are born, by focusing on possibilities instead of limitations. Training your mind to see solutions starts with awareness. The next time you face a challenge, pause. Don't let your emotions take over. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the outcome I want? What are 3 things I could try right now to move closer to that outcome? This simple practice shifts your focus from being reactive to being proactive. Also, surround yourself with solution-oriented conversations. If you're constantly around people who only talk about problems, you'll be pulled into that same energy. But if you spend time with those who focus on progress and ideas, you'll naturally develop the same mindset. Another key step is to see challenges as temporary, not permanent. Many people treat problems like life sentences, when in reality most issues have an expiration date. When you remind yourself that this too shall pass, you reduce fear and open the door for creative thinking. Finally, take action. Thinking alone won't solve anything. Once you've identified a possible solution, take a step toward it. Even if it's small, action creates clarity, and clarity builds momentum. When you train your mind to see solutions, you become unstoppable. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or frustration, you become a person who moves forward no matter what. Problems stop being roadblocks and start becoming stepping stones. And that's how you rise above average and create a life filled with growth and progress. Number 6. Master the power of delayed gratification. One of the greatest skills you can ever develop is the ability to wait, not to wait passively, hoping life hands you what you want, but to wait with purpose, to work hard now and trust that the reward will come later. This is called delayed gratification, and it's one of the most powerful mental upgrades you can make. The world today is built around instant rewards. With one click, you can have food delivered to your door, entertainment streamed to your screen, and attention from strangers on social media. These quick hits of pleasure feel good in the moment, but they train your brain to crave easy satisfaction instead of long-term success. The problem is, real success almost never comes instantly. It's built slowly, brick by brick, through patience, sacrifice, and consistent effort. People who chase instant gratification live in cycles of frustration. They want results right now, so they cut corners, quit when it gets hard, or settle for short-term comfort instead of lasting achievement. But those who master delayed gratification play a different game. They understand that the choices you make today are seeds for tomorrow's harvest. You don't plant a seed and expect a tree to grow overnight. You water it, protect it, and give it time, knowing that eventually the results will come. Think about fitness as an example. If someone works out for 1 week and doesn't see a dramatic change, they might quit, saying, "It's not working." But someone who understands delayed gratification keeps showing up, knowing that every workout is building strength beneath the surface. Months later, the transformation becomes visible, and it feels like sudden success, even though it was built slowly all along. This applies to every area of life. Building wealth, developing skills, improving relationships. None of these happen overnight. You have to be willing to trade what feels good now for what will feel great later. That might mean skipping a night out to save money, spending hours practicing instead of watching TV, or staying focused when others are distracted. Here's the key. Delayed gratification isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. You're not denying yourself joy, you're investing in a bigger, better future. Every time you resist a short-term temptation, you're telling yourself, "My dreams matter more than my impulses." That's how self-respect grows. To master this skill, start small. Choose one area of your life where you often give in to instant gratification. Maybe it's unhealthy eating, procrastination, or overspending. Set a clear goal and practice saying no in that area for just a week. Each victory strengthens your mental muscles, and over time your ability to delay gratification will grow. The difference between those who live average lives and those who achieve greatness often comes down to this principle. Most people give up too soon. They quit before the breakthrough because they can't stand the waiting. Don't be like them. Be the person who works quietly, waits patiently, and trusts the process. When you master delayed gratification, you gain control over your future. You stop being ruled by impulses and start being guided by purpose. And when the rewards finally come, they won't just be bigger. They'll be far more meaningful because you earn them through discipline and vision. Number 7. Eliminate distractions. Guard your focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Your phone buzzes, notifications pop up, social media scrolls endlessly, and before you know it, hours have slipped away. The 7th mental upgrade is about protecting your most valuable resource, your focus. Because the truth is, whatever controls your attention controls your life. Think about it. Every dream, every goal, every meaningful achievement begins with focused effort. But if your attention is scattered, your energy will be too. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because their focus is divided between too many things that don't matter. They get pulled in 1,000 directions and wonder why they never make real progress. Here's a hard truth. Distractions aren't just harmless fun. They are silent thieves, stealing your time, your energy, and your future. Every minute you spend mindlessly scrolling or chasing other people's drama, is a minute you're not building your own life. The scary part, those minutes add up. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and suddenly years have passed, and your dreams are still just dreams. To guard your focus, you must first become aware of what's pulling it away. Notice your habits. How often do you check your phone without thinking? How much time do you spend reacting to other people's problems instead of working on your own? Awareness is the first step toward change. Once you know your distractions, set boundaries. Create specific times to check messages or social media, instead of letting them interrupt you all day. Turn off notifications that don't serve you. If possible, design a workspace that's free from clutter and noise. The goal is to make focus the default, not the struggle. Another powerful strategy is to prioritize your tasks. Each day, identify the 1 or 2 actions that matter most to your growth. Work on those first, before anything else. This prevents you from getting stuck in busyness, where you feel productive but aren't actually moving forward. Also, be mindful of the people around you. Some distractions come in the form of constant negativity, gossip, or drama. Protect your mental space by limiting your exposure to those who drain your energy. You don't have to cut everyone out, but you do need to decide who gets your attention and for how long. Guarding your focus doesn't mean living like a monk or never having fun. It means being intentional. It's about choosing where your attention goes instead of letting the world choose for you. Even small changes can have a huge impact. 1 hour of deep, focused work can often accomplish more than an entire day of scattered effort. Remember, your focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it will feel difficult to resist distractions. But with practice, you'll find it easier to stay locked in on what truly matters. When you eliminate distractions and guard your focus, you take back control of your time and your life. Your progress will accelerate, your confidence will grow, and you'll finally create the space needed to achieve the goals you've been chasing for far too long. Number 8. Build emotional strength under pressure. Life will test you. No matter who you are or where you come from, there will be moments when everything seems to fall apart. When plans fail, people disappoint you, and nothing goes the way you expected. In those moments, most people break. They lash out, they give up, or they let fear and frustration control their decisions. But those who rise to greatness have mastered one crucial skill: the ability to stay strong emotionally, even when the world around them is in chaos. Emotional strength isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's not about faking a smile while you're falling apart inside. It's about learning to control what you can control: your mindset, your reactions, and your choices. When life throws challenges your way, the truth is, you can't always stop the storm, but you can choose how you navigate through it. When pressure hits, the first instinct for most people is to react. They get angry, panic, or spiral into negativity. But reacting rarely makes things better. Instead, it often creates bigger problems. The key is to respond, not react. Take a deep breath, step back, and give yourself space to think clearly. Even a few seconds of pause can prevent a lifetime of regret. One of the best ways to build emotional strength is to expect challenges before they arrive. Too many people are caught off guard by setbacks because they secretly hope life will always go smoothly. But when you accept that problems are a normal part of the journey, they lose some of their power over you. You stop being surprised by difficulties and start preparing for them. Another important step is to separate feelings from facts. Emotions are real, but they aren't always accurate. Fear may scream that you're in danger when you're actually safe. Anger may convince you to fight battles that don't matter. Train yourself to pause and ask, what's really happening here? What's the truth beneath how I feel right now? This habit keeps you grounded instead of being swept away by emotion. Surrounding yourself with stability also matters. In tough times, lean on routines, supportive relationships, and positive influences. They act like anchors, keeping you steady when the waves of life get rough. Even something as simple as exercise, reading, or journaling can give your mind a safe space to process stress. Most importantly, remember that emotional strength grows through use. Just like a muscle, it gets stronger each time you face difficulty and refuse to give in. Every challenge you overcome becomes proof that you can handle more than you thought possible. When you build emotional strength under pressure, you become unshakable. People will notice your calm presence and wonder how you stay so composed when others fall apart. It won't be because your life is easier. It will be because you've trained yourself to remain centered in the storm. Life's greatest rewards often come on the other side of chaos. Stay steady, stay strong, and you'll emerge from every trial not just surviving but thriving. Number 9, upgrade your self-talk. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every day there's a voice in your head shaping the way you see the world, influencing the choices you make, and defining what you believe about your potential. This voice can either be your greatest coach or your harshest critic. The 9th mental upgrade is about upgrading your self-talk, because the words you speak to yourself will eventually become the life you live. Most people don't even notice how destructive their inner dialogue has become. They say things to themselves they would never say to another person. I'm not smart enough. I always mess things up. I'll never change. These words may seem harmless in the moment, but over time they plant deep roots in your mind. And here's the truth. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly feed it negative messages, it will act on those messages and keep you trapped in the same cycles of failure and frustration. The first step to upgrading your self-talk is awareness. Start paying attention to the way you speak to yourself throughout the day. When you make a mistake, what's the first thing you say in your head? When you face a challenge, what words come up automatically? This awareness is like turning on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly you can see what's been holding you back. Once you identify the negative patterns, it's time to replace them. Don't just try to stop thinking negatively. That rarely works, because the mind hates a vacuum. Instead, intentionally fill that space with new, empowering thoughts. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," tell yourself, "I'll figure it out step by step." Instead of "I always fail," say, "I'm learning and improving every day." This isn't about fake positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about speaking the truth in a way that empowers you. Even small changes in language can create massive shifts in mindset. Words like never, always, and can't are heavy chains. Replace them with words that open doors like yet, learning, and growing. Another powerful tool is speaking your goals out loud. Your voice has incredible influence over your subconscious mind. When you repeatedly declare who you're becoming and what you're working toward, your actions begin to align with those declarations. It's like giving your mind a compass to follow. Remember, your self-talk doesn't just affect you internally. It impacts how you show up in the world. People can feel the energy of someone who believes in themselves versus someone who constantly tears themselves down. Confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about having a strong, encouraging inner voice that pushes you forward when things get tough. If you want to change your life, start by changing the way you speak to yourself. Treat your mind like fertile soil and plant only the seeds you want to see grow. With consistent practice, you'll transform your inner critic into a trusted coach, and that voice will guide you toward the future you've always wanted. Number 10, turn pain into power. Pain is a part of life. No one escapes it. You will face disappointment, heartbreak, failure, and moments that make you question everything. Most people try to avoid pain at all costs. They run from it, numb it, or pretend it isn't there. But here's the truth. Pain itself isn't the enemy. The real danger is what you do with it. The 10th mental upgrade is learning how to turn pain into power, to take what was meant to break you and use it as fuel to build something greater. Pain has two possible outcomes. It can crush you, leaving you bitter, resentful, and stuck, or it can forge you, making you stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. The difference isn't in the pain itself. It's in your response. You can either see pain as a punishment or as a teacher. The choice is yours. When something hurts deeply, your natural instinct is to ask, "Why me?" That question keeps you trapped in victim mode. Instead, shift your focus to, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me better?" This doesn't erase the hurt, but it gives meaning to the struggle. Suddenly, pain becomes a stepping stone instead of a roadblock. Think about some of the most inspiring stories you've ever heard. Almost every one of them began with hardship. Someone losing everything, facing rejection, or enduring failure after failure. What sets these people apart isn't that life was easier for them. It's that they chose to transform their pain into a driving force. Instead of letting it define them, they used it to refine them. Here's something powerful to remember. Pain is energy. It's raw, intense, and consuming. If you don't channel it, it will consume you. But if you direct it toward action, it becomes unstoppable momentum. For example, heartbreak can be turned into the motivation to build a better life. Failure can become the spark that pushes you to master your craft. Even anger, when channeled correctly, can fuel positive change. The key is not to run from the pain, but to sit with it long enough to understand it, feel it, process it, and then decide what you're going to do with it. Pain without purpose will poison you. Pain with purpose will propel you. One practical way to apply this is through movement. When you feel overwhelmed, take physical action. Go for a run, hit the gym, clean your space, or start a project. Physical movement creates emotional movement. It stops pain from festering and starts turning it into progress. Remember, the goal isn't to live a life free of pain. That's impossible. The goal is to become the kind of person who can rise above it. When you master this upgrade, setbacks stop being the end of your story. They become the chapters that make your story worth telling. When pain shows up, and it will, don't ask for it to go away. Ask for the strength to turn it into something powerful. Let it sharpen you, drive you, and remind you that even in your darkest moments, you have the power to create light. Number 11, practice relentless consistency. Success is rarely about one big breakthrough moment. It's not a single lucky break, a perfect opportunity, or a dramatic event that changes everything overnight. Real success is built quietly, day after day, through small, consistent actions that compound over time. The 11th mental upgrade is to practice relentless consistency, showing up no matter how you feel, no matter how slow the progress seems, and no matter how far the finish line appears to be. Most people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they quit too soon. They start strong, full of energy and motivation, but the moment things get difficult or boring, they disappear. They expect instant results. And when they don't see them, they assume their efforts aren't working. What they don't realize is that every single step matters, even when it feels invisible. Consistency is like planting seeds. You can't plant a seed today and expect to harvest fruit tomorrow. At first, you see nothing. It feels like all your hard work is wasted. But beneath the surface, growth is happening. With enough time, care, and persistence, that tiny seed turns into something powerful and unshakable. The same is true for your goals. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, learning a skill, or strengthening your mindset, progress will often be hidden at first. The key is to keep showing up anyway. Relentless consistency isn't glamorous. It's not exciting. Some days it feels repetitive, even exhausting. But it's the one thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. Here's the truth. Motivation will not always be there for you. There will be mornings when you don't feel like working out, studying, or making those difficult calls. On those days, discipline must take over. Discipline is what carries you when motivation runs dry. It's the voice that says, I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. To practice relentless consistency, focus on building habits rather than chasing moods. Start small and simple. Choose one or two key actions that move you closer to your goals and commit to doing them every single day. Even if the effort feels tiny, it creates momentum. Over weeks and months, those small actions add up to extraordinary results. It's also important to track your progress. When you see how far you've come, even if it's just a little, it strengthens your resolve to keep going. Without tracking, it's easy to forget that growth is happening. Remember, consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will have bad days. You'll miss a workout, break a habit, or fall behind on a project. That's okay. What matters is getting back on track immediately, without letting one bad day turn into a bad week or month. When you embrace relentless consistency, you become unstoppable. Life will throw challenges at you, but they won't derail you. While others burn out or give up, you'll keep moving forward, one step at a time. Over the years, that steady progress will create a life so strong and stable that others will call it luck. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck at all. It was the power of never giving up. Number 12. Visualize and act like your future self. One of the most powerful mental upgrades you can make is to stop living only as the person you are today and start living as the person you want to become. Most people wait until they reach their goals before they act like their future selves. They think, when I'm successful, then I'll be confident. When I have more money, then I'll manage it wisely. When I'm in shape, then I'll start seeing myself as disciplined. But this thinking keeps them stuck. The truth is, transformation begins the moment you start visualizing and acting as if you've already stepped into that future version of yourself. Everything you want already exists in your imagination. Before anything can happen in the real world, it must first happen in your mind. That's why visualization is so powerful. When you create a clear mental picture of the person you want to become, you give your mind a target to aim for. The more vividly you can see it, how you walk, how you talk, how you think, the faster you'll align your daily actions with that vision. But visualization alone is not enough. Too many people daydream about a better life without taking a single step toward it. You must pair visualization with action. Ask yourself, what would my future self do in this moment? Then do exactly that. If your future self is financially free, how would they handle money today? If your future self is strong and healthy, what choices would they make at the dinner table? If your future self is confident and bold, how would they handle challenges right now? This shift in behavior creates a bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Even if your external circumstances haven't changed yet, your identity starts to change the moment you live as that upgraded version of yourself. And as your identity changes, your results will begin to follow. It's important to be specific about your vision. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Define it. What does success look like to you? What habits does that version of you have? What kind of people are in your life? Write it down, speak it out loud, and review it daily. The clearer your vision, the easier it becomes to take consistent action toward it. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when your current reality feels far away from your desired future. That's when this mental upgrade matters most. Stay faithful to the vision. Keep showing up, even when no one else sees the progress yet. Over time, your repeated choices will create visible proof of your inner transformation. Remember, you are not waiting to become someone new. You are becoming them right now, step by step, choice by choice. When you consistently visualize and act like your future self, you collapse the distance between who you are and who you want to be. One day, people will look at you and call it a breakthrough. But you'll know the truth. You didn't just stumble into success. You grew into it. You've just walked through 12 powerful mental upgrades, each one designed to transform the way you think, act, and live. But remember this, knowing these principles is only half the battle. Nothing changes just because you've learned something new. Change happens when you apply what you've learned day after day, until these upgrades become a natural part of who you are. Each chapter you've completed is a stepping stone to the next level of your life. Taking full responsibility puts the power back in your hands. Stopping weak thoughts clears the noise from your mind. Building an unshakable routine creates structure and momentum. Upgrading your inner circle surrounds you with the right influences. Training your mind to see solutions keeps you moving forward, no matter the challenge. Mastering delayed gratification strengthens your discipline. Guarding your focus protects your most valuable resource, your time. Building emotional strength allows you to stand tall under pressure. Upgrading your self-talk rewires the story you tell yourself. Turning pain into power transforms setbacks into fuel. Practicing relentless consistency ensures lasting progress. And finally, visualizing and acting like your future self closes the gap between where you are and where you want to be. These aren't quick fixes or temporary boosts. They are deep shifts that require courage and persistence. There will be days when it feels easier to slip back into old habits, when people around you don't understand your growth, and when progress feels painfully slow. But those are the very moments when you must push forward. Growth isn't always visible at first, but it's happening beneath the surface with every choice you make. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. Start with one upgrade, just one. Practice it, master it, and then build on it by adding another. Over time, these small shifts will compound, creating massive transformation. One day you'll look back and realize you've become a completely different person, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Your future is not something you wait for, it's something you create. No one else can do this work for you. The world may try to distract you, discourage you, or pull you back into comfort, but you must stay focused on the vision of the upgraded you. Right now you have everything you need to begin. Don't wait for perfect timing or ideal circumstances. The best time to start is this moment. The power to rewrite your story, to level up your life, and to become the person you've always dreamed of being is already within you. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and take that first step. Commit to mastering these 12 upgrades, not just in theory, but in action. Because when you upgrade your mind, you upgrade your entire life, and nothing will ever be the same again.